Hello students, welcome back to my channel Lightup Knowledge and very warm welcome to today's video. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, we will cover adjective clauses. Basically, we will cover the functions of adjective clauses today. I have already covered the basic introduction to adjective clauses which could be seen in the playlist of clauses in English language on my channel. Now without any further ado or delay, let's jump right into the video. Functions of adjective clauses. Number 1. An adjective clause performs the function of an adjective and describes a noun or a pronoun. It usually answers the question which one. So basically an adjective clause performs the function of adjective, and you should know what is a function of adjective. An adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. So basically whenever an adjective clause will be there in the sentence, it will be seem describing a noun or a pronoun, and it usually answers the question which one. For example, this is the book that I am reading. So it's answering the question which book that I am reading, the book that I am reading. Okay, similarly, okay, if you see the structure, it is describing the word book, right? It is describing book that I am reading. The next example is, this is the man who took my interview. So this is answering the question who took my interview. Okay, it's answering which man, the man who took my interview. The adjective clause is describing the man. So basically an adjective clause performs the function of describing, and what will it describe? It will either describe a noun or a pronoun, and it will answer the question which one. The next point is, an adjective clause should be placed as close as possible to the noun or a pronoun it describes, ideally right next to it. So basically it is saying, point number 2 is saying that what is the construction of an adjective clause? Basically what happens is, an adjective clause should be placed as close as possible to near a noun or a pronoun about what it is describing, right? And basically if you say that ideally it should be placed right next to it. If you see the above example here, this is the book that I am reading. Okay, it is describing the book and the clause is placed right next to it, that I am reading, which is an adjective clause, right? So point number 2 is basically says that the noun or a pronoun should be placed right next to the adjective clause that it is describing. Point number 3 is, an adjective clause about person begins with the words who, whom or whose. These words refer to the person in the main clause. So usually an adjective clause which is describing a human, which is describing a person, will begin with either who, whom or whose, and basically these words who, whom or whose, they refer to the person which is referred to in the main clause. Okay, if you see the example here, I have a cousin who works in Germany. So basically there are two clauses. I have a cousin, the second one is who works in Germany. So who works in Germany is an adjective clause because it is describing the noun in the main clause, that's cousin, right? I have a cousin, main clause. So cousin is a noun which whose description is the adjective clause right next to it, who works in Germany. So basically who here refers to the cousin. Okay, similarly we have the next example, the writer whom I adored is no more. So I told you that the words who, whom, whose, the adjective clause which is beginning with who, whom or whose will describe a person, right? And it will describe the person which is mentioned in the main clause, right? The writer, okay, the writer is no more. Okay, so whom is describing the writer mentioned, right? So whom refers to the writer. The next point is, an adjective clause about animals or things begins with the words which, that or whose. So we have seen that referring a person, the adjective clause would begin with who, whom or whose, but when it refers to animals, things, it will begin with either which, that or whose, and these words refer to the animals or thing which is mentioned in the main clause, as we have read earlier. Okay, if you see this example here, this is the path which leads to the waterfall. Okay, so here which is an adjective clause, it is describing a path, right? It is describing a path, it is describing a thing, right? A path. So path is that noun which is described in the adjective clause, which leads to the waterfall. So which is describing the noun path, which is a thing. The next example is, these are the books that my aunt gave me. These are the books. So the noun, the animal or a thing noun which is mentioned in the main clause book, right, is described by the adjective clause that my aunt gave me. So that refers to books here. Function number 5. Very occasionally an adjective may be introduced by the words where, when and why. These words refer to a place, a time or a reason in the main clause. So very occasionally means sometimes an adjective clause, it's not adjective, actually it's adjective clause, please correct it. So adjective clause may be introduced sometimes by the words like where, when and why, and these words will refer to place or time, or it can refer to the reason in the main clause, right? If you see this example, you will observe closely. Do you know the time when the concert begins? So when the concert begins is which clause? Is an adjective clause. Okay, which where the word when is used for the time. Okay, so when refers to the time, okay, when the concert would begin. Okay, so the main clause is, do you know the time? So here the word time, the time when is referred to the word time, which is an adjective clause. Similarly, if you look at another example here, we visited the place where we first met. So here in the main clause, if you see the word place, so place has been described by this adjective clause where we first met. So where refers to the place where we met, right? So therefore sometimes an adjective clause may be introduced with words like where, when, why, which describes either place, time or reason mentioned in the main clause. Next function is, sometimes the introducing word may be omitted altogether. Sometimes it can happen that the introductory word in the clause is already understood and it's omitted, it's not used. So how you will recognize it, right? So if you see this example here, here is the dictionary you have been looking for. First of all, right? So first of all, you will not pronounce this word as dictionary. Okay, it's dictionary. Dictionary, diction means choice of words. So dictionary. So here's the dictionary you've been looking for. So here you will see that there's one word that's missing, it's omitted, that's the word that. If I say here's the dictionary that you've been looking for, so it can be written like this also, here's the dictionary you've been looking for. So we have omitted an introductory word in the clause. So these were all the functions of an adjective clause. I hope you understood it, you enjoyed watching it, you found it useful. If you did, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Do not forget to press that bell icon so that you can get regular updates of my videos. Keep learning and keep growing.